Hello there, we are back again in Marvel Heroes Test Center. Um, Yesterday after making the first Jean Grey video on Test Center, I know a lot of you were very appreciative of that, so I've now come back after today. As for today, they've made some updates to Jean on Test Center, and I'll just read exactly what these changes are right here from the post on the forums. I will also post it in the doobly-doo little thing below the video, so that way you're able to go and read for it yourself. In case you want to kind of break it down and see. But the changes thus far are that Jean's third specialization on the Dark Phoenix is now being implemented. And with that, the team buff is now switching from Endurance, which was the Spirit Regen and the Spirit Reduction cost, to Dexterity, which now gives you Dodge Rating. As shown here, dodge rating and a percent chance of deflect projectiles. So a little bit weird, but yeah, some changes at least have occurred there. Next is Cyclic Lethargy has gained vulnerability from Implosion. Lethargy is a cornerstone of all Jean Grey builds, so this will allow her to apply the debuff. Phoenix Charges now, the speed of it is increased by 20% and the cooldown has been reduced. This is mostly because when you're in Phoenix form, you will often charge and you get a pause in between when you use your dashes because of the explosion. So that means that you're now going to be able to dash faster. Neuropanic's damage has now been raised by 30%. That was due to a bug fix, and the cooldown has been lowered to 4 seconds. Some improvements with Dark Phoenix is now the Dark Phoenix for Jean form and just mental damage. The buff has made it to where the effect is doubled. Dark Phoenix form now grants maximum movement speed as well. The damage bonus reverted to 125%, and Mind Shatter now provides a more powerful damage increase. Dark Phoenix Charge, the speed has been increased by 50%, so similar to what I had stated before, that kind of lag in between it. So now you can much smoother dash around the map and such. Mind Shatter on the Dark Phoenix mode passive effect has been removed, as it is removed from its counterpart Mind Crush and is provided by a passive effect. The vulnerability changed to 20% bonus against Dark Phoenix powers, 4% cooldown added, base damage increase, and the radius has been increased as well. So the Dark Phoenix Drain, when you're in Dark Phoenix mode, the wind up, wind down, and the minimal channeling times have been reduced. So that means you'll be able to very quickly use the Phoenix Drain, drop out of it, use her basic, and then restart the drain if necessary. Inferno Bolt, which on the Dark Phoenix, the projectile range has been increased by 50%, so that means that her basic is going to go a lot farther. All Dark Phoenix power spirit costs have been removed, and now no Dark Phoenix powers will pause the natural spirit regeneration. So that way, when you use it, you're kind of given a freebie mode, and you're able to regen your spirit. There's some bug fixes as well, but overall, what I wanted to do is that I was asked to kind of do a video similar. So I'm just going to do scaling, show off some of the powers very quickly. This will be a much more shortened video in comparison to what it was before. So, but hopefully this will allow you guys to look at it, see if you like these changes, and give some feedback on the forums. So. Note the tooltip on this is still broken. I do seem to have a +1 power coming from there. I apologize. That might be coming from that. Let us change. So you're able to... I'm sorry, I don't know where this +1 power is coming from. Somewhere on my gear. There we go. So I will redo this one at 20 so you're able to see the 20 ranks, since the tooltip is a little bit bugged. Okay, now from this part we're going to very quickly put 1 point in, and we're going to do a quick run through as previously done before. I will also hover here over quickly over the specializations. Again, these specializations, when you specialize into them, what they do is they give you some sort of the team buff, which are little, like you'll see them here on the buffs. Which, if I specialize it, you'll see them, they're symbolized by these yellow boxes, and they give you some sort of added boost. Also, when you spec into these, it just simply will change or add specific things to certain skills, such as a damage over time, dealing additional damage, or adding such things as weaken or vulnerability. So this first one is for purely mental. This next one is for energy, or the pure phoenix form. And the last one is for the hybrid, which is the one that was updated, and before none of the stuff below, such as the unleashed phoenix, were present before. And again, this has been changed from endurance to dexterity as the team buff. So quickly running through powers, we will quickly run through and show off. Unlike yesterday where I had these dummies killed, I will show off the bolt where you're able to see it bounce. Again, this projectile now seeks, so you can see it curving to hit the enemies. Her flight power. Next is psychokinetic implosion. Her signature. Her wave power and mental, which I have been told that this is placeholder. If you'll notice, it's very similar to Psylocke, and you can actually see if you pause the little butterfly effect. That's placeholder. The VFX for that is coming. As for, again, this is test center. Next is psychic lethargy, psychic hammer, and you can see here that they now have the vulnerability buff that was placed, and it has some very nice visual effect on it. Psychic hammer. Her CC break. Then we have Mind Crush, which has a much longer cooldown, but has been given the boost in mental that you have the damage and such. So, Neural Panic, which was given the damage increase. And now moving on to the final branch, we have all these. First, I'm going to show off Phoenix Inferno real quick, because this is the toggle. This is the one where when hit, the area of effect field comes around you, and you're able to do a dot damage. I'll turn this toggle off though, so that way it doesn't visually interfere. Then we have the stance form. That changes the Phoenix, so we don't want to see that right now, since I'm showing off Jean. This is her charge, which now you can see it's a lot smoother. She's able to dash a lot faster now. The drain, which you can now much faster change from target to target. And then we have the Dark Phoenix form, which will be in mental form first off, which does that and gives you the boost now. It restores your spirit, gives you the damage buff, and just does the output of damage as well. So now very quickly we're going to switch into the stance form, and we are going to go run through these powers again real quick on Jean form, or the Phoenix form. So you'll see here her basic, the 3, the bird, her flight power, Psychokinetic Implosion, which does it around her instead of at a distance and has a cooldown. Then we have her signature. Her Wave Power, which is again around her and has a small cooldown on it. So easily spammable. Then we have Cyclic Lethargy, which is still applying that vulnerability regardless of the Phoenix mode. Then we have the Psychic Hammer, which the visual effect seems a little bugged on that. Let's move and see if we can get it to work. Again, this is Test Center, so bugs like this occur. Her CC Break. Then we have Mind Crush, which in Phoenix form is able to be spammed and seems to be applying some sort of thing. No, that is simply the effect on the attack. Then we have Neural Panic, which has the cooldown, unlike in mental form. Then we have her Charge, which now is much faster and still has the explosion like stated, but you can now dash around a lot faster than you could before. The Drain, again, much faster to quickly go from enemy to enemy. Back to Phoenix Inferno, which again, when hit, gives the dot and does damage. And then finally, for the Phoenix form and the Dark Phoenix while in Phoenix form, you still switch into there. You're again able to dash around a lot faster than you could before. You have the AoE, the Shatter, which has the cooldown. You have the Drain, which again is able to much quickly switch from enemy to enemy. And you can see that her little basic goes a lot farther than it used before. Before it used to cut off right about there. And now it's going past those enemies and is going about to the end of the training room right there. So you're going about good distance much farther, so from about halfway I'd say to about the full cage here. So all in all though, that is all the changes made thus far on Test Center. Again, this is simply her tuning pass. I know last video I stated it's her quality of life. That was a misspeak on my part. This is a tuning pass. This is simply made to change and make some of these attacks a lot easier and more beneficial overall to gameplay, but a much better quality of life for her is said to be in the works, and that is to come later on, most likely after the last 52 review is done, which will be Deadpool. There's no time frame on when that Deadpool 52 is going to be done or going to be completed. It most likely will be the month after Cable, which is said to come sometime either end of July or beginning of August. So you can expect to see most likely Deadpool end of August or beginning of September, and therefore any quality of life things with Jean to come possibly end September or further from that. So that's all though. If there are any questions you guys have, feel free to leave comments down below. I hope this video helps, and see you next time.